Insert intro music here during editing.
Have we started?
Yes.
This is it.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Nothing gets you pumped up more than not having the intro music.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, the intro does make you a little jacked up for it.
Yeah, it's a good
It does.
beat.
I was just looking for my phone and realized it's right there.
Because like my notes are on the phone, and then the phone's the camera, so ixo facto, it's not gonna go well.
I got no feel good stories for this week now because I usually look them up during the good old times.
That's during the breaks.
Well, I got a couple quick hitters we can talk about later. So
Oh, terrific.
Fantastic.
Are the Toblerones as good as they once were? As they always were.
They may be better.
I like how they have it clear on the bottom. I just realized the package is clear on the bottom.
Yeah.
Interesting,
So you
yeah.
can see all
see-
the candies
you
in
can
it.
see the candies.
All the goodies that you
Oh,
can
hey,
make
Chris,
sure
you
they're
want to
real.
pass me all my drinks?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get this going. Yep, that's one.
And that him.
That's dos. Dos. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm going to need a few of those. It's the Coors Light's already tasting so good. And it's going to be hard to hold on, Pat, and not drink every single one of those.
I don't know
It's
if
going to be
I've had
hard.
that
It's going to be
before.
hard, Pat.
No, this will be a first time for you guys. I've looked for this one for a while. I
Really?
had this with Lauren. Tremendous
And we
beer.
can thank Chris McGraw for this beer right here tonight.
I saved it.
So we'll give you the little story background on this one, Joe.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this, April 18th is the filing deadline for your taxes.
Damn you, Washington, D.C.
You know, guys, the government can't work on a Monday.
Get them done. So, as being a tax accountant here, we have to mail a lot, Joe.
Yes.
Today, I had the honor of going to the post office.
You did volunteer in your defense.
I always
Those
volunteer.
are the best interactions. They're so happy to see you.
Oh, just amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had the opportunity to go to the post office, take a sweet time. Take a Saturday when you want to not do anything, and go just enjoy sitting in line.
Hate your life. Be hated by the people around you. Be hated by the people behind the counter.
I don't think the people behind here don't hate you. They're indifferent to your time or anything.
No, they hate their lives.
They hate. There's a lot of hate in that place.
And but you know what? I'll give the post office one little bit of credit. They they have the self checkout. And ladies and gentlemen, the self checkout is an absolute blood. I don't know. Nobody uses it. I don't get it.
I have a question.
It's like self checkout at stores nowadays. I went to Jewel on Friday, and it's a zoo because of the Easter holiday, which we'll get into. But nobody. I walked right into the self checkout line. No one's using them.
Well, yeah, I went to the Home Depot once and I was there, and this person was like, they're like self checkout lines like 2, 4, and 6 are available, and she's like, I don't work for Home Depot. I'm waiting for someone to bring me out.
I think though at the post office it's a little intimidating because if you don't have the right postage or you didn't click the right thing, if you don't do it often,
That's
you're like,
fair.
I don't know.
You get caught.
It's pretty idiot proof, to be honest with you.
I would disagree. I mean, there are people. I've seen people come in and go, I need to ship this overnight. Which envelope do I grab? Like they don't know.
They don't do any research.
anything.
They think
don't
that
know anything.
Is there a
about it.
worse feeling than when you get into a post office and see that the self-checkout machine is broken and there's like a line out the door?
Dude just walks out and he's like, nope, not today.
No, not absolutely not. I would 100%. There's
I'm
no
out.
way. Oh, I felt bad though. I walked in there, and it was me. So what happened 2 weeks ago? Me and this other gentleman. This other gentleman's in line. Guy didn't know anything he was doing, crossing things out, writing this. And she stops and she literally goes to the piece of paper. She goes, stop. And he's like, oh, excuse me. And she's like, you gotta ever have to redo this, and then pushes him aside and says, and she's like, you could come over here.
Next.
And he's like it was like the suit Nazi. And so he gets a phone call and he's like, hey, listen, I'm getting destroyed at the post office. I'll call you back. But then I went, and then the next thing I looked, 7 people behind me. And I was just like, sometimes God gives you a break. Sometimes he gives you a break.
Sometimes.
Every once in a while.
So to get back to the story, and there's a dunk. The reason I go is because there's a nice Dunkin' right next to it, Joe. They have this strip mall, nothing but the Dunkin' in there.
Just the D.
And just the double D's.
No more double D's, a single D.
It's true. So I walk in there. I text Chris because me and this guy, we've never had orders on at the same time. So I text Chris. I'm like, hey, this guy again is telling me I don't have an order here, and Chris is like, yeah, you don't. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're at the other one. So there's like 3 on the way do the post office.
I told Chris when you were telling this, brother, just look. I'm like, Peter's in there. He's like, hey, I told you. Every time we do this, my order is going. And Peter looks at his phone. He's like, crap, sorry. Then he walks out.
No, I was very friendly to him because I had to pee. So I was like, I don't know if this guy has the door locked to the bathroom. So I had to be
hit that code, man.
I had to be
Give me that code.
I promise I'm a customer, just not at this store.
I buy a lot of Dunkin'. Trust me, everywhere.
So yeah, your 401k is sponsored.
Peter runs on Dunkin' too.
Yeah, your 401k is sponsored by DLM. So then Chris is like, Chris doesn't call me. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what are we talking about? So I call him. He's like, yeah, you should Google that address.
I gave you the address for a reason.
He's like, Google that.
I was like, if I told you like, hey, you gotta go further west, you're gonna be like, which way's west?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Peter's the lake, and he's like, I don't think I went west.
Here's
next to Peter's home.
Here's the address where to pick up. Okay, got it. Hey, I'm at the Dunkin' Donuts. They don't got it here. Oh, are you at the address that I texted you?
No, I'm at
No.
I'm also in Cicero.
He didn't even get that. He was in there, and he's like, as soon as he said he didn't have the order, I'm like, oh, I definitely, I put in the wrong one, and I'm like, I go look it up, I see the address, I'm like, yeah, that's not the address. So then I text him, I'm like, you're at the wrong one. Yeah. Here's the address.
I was working at Crisco's, like, ugh. It was literally like an audible, ugh.
So I had to go down like 7 minutes down, like where we're at. I went down and. I get in there, and I'm not like upset. It's like 55 degrees. I got the windows down.
Gorgeous day.
I'm out of the basement, so I'm like, oh, I had to go a little farther. I walk up to this Dunkin'. The Dunkin', this guy did it right. I had the perfect order. Cool. I look down my left, maybe 3 stores down, a tap room, tons of young people having beers outside, chilling, having a good old time.
Like, I want to go to there.
And I'm like, you know what?
Bear's like, that's me.
I'm like,
bye.
I'm like, you know what?
This is a sign from God. This is a sign from God.
Yeah. I'm supposed to have a beer right now for the podcast. It's material.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
So I walk over there, and then I'm not even kidding you, 4 of the oldest people I've ever seen in my life crawl into this bar, and I'm like, yeah, no, they're going to take forever. There's no way I'll be here 2 hours trying to get a beer. So I went up and I looked in the refrigerator and I saw this, and I was just like, I've been looking for this for you guys because I enjoyed the crap out of this beer.
Bowel's 200.
Yes, and I got a Saison to try at work.
Saison.
Which the Saison was okay.
Shout out to you,
great.
Max. We were thinking of you when we were drinking the Saison.
Always. Island time, baby. Island time. Hey,
Grace let him know that he's on the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Pepsi, can you see me on the phone?
Pepsi can't see anything right now.
Pepsi's
Pepsi's
our director of photography right now. Scoot just a bit. You got a whole lot of room over there.
Thanks, Joe.
Taking up more than half.
How we doing,
table
Pepsi?
here.
Damn, baby. Yeah, you all come to Papa.
Oh,
come to Papa.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, boys.
There we go.
There we go. Now we're all in here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for checking us out on a beautiful Saturday night. Here we go. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Podcast SMP. Hit those likes, subscribe, notification bells. Help us out here. We're doing well. We're up to like honestly
8 people.
No, 40 views a week now.
And only 7 of them are Peter, so somebody else is watching too.
Yeah, no, 40 views a week. We're getting a ton of views on our Instagram and our clips. The MLB clip did very well.
Come on, people, get us up to 69.
Then stop. We'll stop from that point.
Hey, thank you for all the support and listens. We definitely truly appreciate it. I know there's a ton of options. It's funny. There's this guy who walks around like busy places and he just puts up signs. And one of his signs was, "Who's listening to all these podcasts?" And it literally hit me right in the
fields.
In the fields, I was like, "No, that guy's right. That guy's right." There's like 9 million podcasts out there.
Oh yeah,
it used to be a cool thing. Now everybody does it.
Yeah, and that's why we jumped on the bandwagon.
That's why I'm retiring.
We did it before it was cool. It got cool like literally the second after.
You know
we
what
did
though,
it.
Joe? We at 131. I was looking. Andrew Santino's just ahead of us a little bit. A lot of those like bigger podcasts, like Tiger Belly's a little bit ahead of us.
Yeah.
Like the big boys, like Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer. Yeah, those guys are like in the 500s. Joe Rogan's in the thousands, but he's doing 3. They're doing like we're decent timing on our podcast.
We're consistent with the numbers here, guys.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
We're here for you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're
listen.
consistently here every Saturday, rain, shine, or snow.
Our livers
We're
are
like
being
the
destroyed for
postal
you.
service. We deliver not just what you want, though.
You know,
So exactly like the post
Oh,
office.
100%.
Yeah, very much.
And we're at least on mostly on time.
And people do shut us down every once in a while to tell us we're doing it wrong.
Oh, I've gotten some comments lately. More and more comments lately. Gotta watch some P's and Q's, boys. No, you know what's crazy? But not crazy, but a funny side to that story is we're at the office. We're having a long day at work. Boo-hoo us. I got us a saison so we could have like something like nice to try at the office.
Yep.
Pour everybody a glass. We have a cheers. We all have a glass. We talk a little bit, just chill for a second. And then I literally opened Yahoo to go to my email, and the first article is no amount of alcohol is healthy for you.
Yeah.
It's a sign
That's
from
a
God.
BS lie.
It's a sign from God.
I was like, oh, why would you do this to me right now, baby boy?
He's like, I don't care.
It's not going to be forever.
Fake news. Fake news.
fake news.
You gotta die something, right?
You know what? Those last 3 years, what is it really worth? Last 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
who
just cut a
cares?
few minutes off, no big deal.
I think we're okay. I mean, a lot of people don't even think we're as old as we are.
Yeah.
No, they think Peter's older.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Chris.
Hi-oh.
There's a reason you're
Hit the
gonna
bump
die.
bump.
No, I'm not going to hit it. It wasn't worth it.
Joe, baby, with you out last week, we had a beautiful. So the podcast goes. We reviewed last weekend. Last weekend was a blast. Your sister, Jesus Christ, your mother-in-law did a wonderful job with Sarah's 30th party. The pizza was great. It was a nice little time. Little shuffleboard. Beers were great.
All of that.
You know what's funny? Lauren said to Sarah, "Hey, we had a really great time. It was a wonderful thing." Sarah said, "My mother took it over."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess all
Little
the.
controversy. I don't know if I should be telling all that.
no,
but I'm
no.
just saying. It was a wonderful time. I had a great time. And
Dude,
so
we're going to get booted off the podcast again, Peter. Way
we're
to
gonna
go.
yell that again.
We're not getting invited to the
Can't
baby
say
shower.
anything anymore.
We're not getting invited to the baby shower in the future. There we go.
But no, I actually had a really good time. And then Carol's Pub was fun. The Peep, they're doing Peeps shots, like Jello shots.
Oh.
That
Oh.
was garbage.
Haven't had a cold Peep in a while.
You know what I read this week to an article was that like they're talking about how one of the peeps gives you cancer. I'm like, great, terrific.
Man, you guys are just uplifting this podcast all over the place.
Might as well kill ourselves.
Yeah.
It was the red ones. I don't feel like they had a red one.
You know who it really makes me, and I don't think Tommy's ever watched this podcast, and Tommy's a coworker of ours. He helps us out, and he's a super nice guy. But when his health, like when he talks about what he eats and how healthy he is compared to, it makes me a little sad. He's on a 3-day fast right now, and me and Chris are
really?
Yeah, he I actually called him yesterday, Chris, when we went to dinner, and I called him just to make sure he got him safe because he was a little loopy.
Yeah, I mean that can't be good for you.
It is. It's actually a 3-day fast. It resets
Did
your
the one
immune
guy,
system.
who's the one guy who on Joe Rogan, the surfer, Kelly Slater, maybe? Doesn't he do like 16-day fast or something like that?
He'll do 2 weeks, but he'll do like a coffee.
Okay.
What does this do?
So a 3-day is really like once every quarter is recommended because it resets your immune system. Because your body, for some reason, I've actually read a lot about this, and Andrew Huberman talks about this. A lot of people who do fasting talk about this. The guy David Sinclair talks about fasting and how it helps you less age. I don't know how Chris is continuing looking younger than me.
I'm
I fast
gorgeous.
all the time. But a 3-day fast literally resets your immune system. Yeah.
Now, do those guys work out and stuff during that? Because
That's why I can't. That's
I
why
can't
have a hard
imagine
time.
that
You can't. I mean, you can't burn too many calories. You'd be starving.
you'd be like I could see Pierre trying to squat like a bar and falling over and falling asleep.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough.
I
I don't know how much Tommy.
that was good.
I don't know how much
You're not
Tommy
hitting-
works out.
That's a good one, boys.
That was huge.
not sure how much
That
time
might
it
have been the
was.
largest
Yeah.
I'm not
burp
gonna lie, it's
ever
going down too
on
easy.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
No offense. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. There's no way that has ever competed, Joe. When you want to go on the burps, you scared me.
was-
with the burps.
I mean, it was top 5 on the podcast. I'm pretty sure.
maybe top
That,
10.
yes.
Well, I've
Could
heard
I
some of
beat
Joe's.
it? Like
We're getting some comments this week on that.
Throw out a
Yeah.
crazy burp. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting some new comments on that one right there.
Yeah, we are, baby.
I think we might have lost him. Chris has been very.
He's back, baby. He's back.
Oh my God, he's back!
Joe.
That burp was so signature. It brought me back to playing the SNES. Booger Man. Do you guys know that game?
Oh God, yeah, where
do
the
not.
guy belched.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and he would hurt people with the belch, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yup. And he would fling his boogers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am
That's
not-
what that.
I am
That's
not
what that
familiar.
reminded me of, man.
You know
That
what,
brought me.
Pat,
back.
you had a very
30 years
traumatized
ago.
childhood. It sounds like because everybody else here is having good times.
I used to love the Domino's one, and then the
How
7
about
Up
Earthworm
one.
Jim?
Earthworm Jim was good.
Earthworm Jim was.
You know, what's one of my
shit.
favorite games of all time? Snake, like the original for PS1, where you can smoke
Oh,
a
yeah.
cigarette, and then you can get behind somebody and go.
Oh, you mean Metal Gear Solid?
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry.
Snake is the-
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
sorry.
Snake is
But
the
you're
main
right. Yeah,
character.
Metal Gear Solid. That game, like it was so innovative. Like you could do things that you were not able. I could never beat it. I was so terrible at it. But it was that first level where you had to choke the guy out, and then you could have a cigarette, and it would hurt your health.
My favorite thing in that whole entire thing is like you were saying snake, and like people are like, "Oh, you like the stupid phone game?" And,
Yeah,
wait, the snake has a
right.
cigarette. Wait, what?
Yeah.
When he said snake with a cigarette, I thought about the guy from Escape from New York. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, snake. Oh, there you go. There's another good example.
I don't know that one. I'm sorry.
Snake.
Oh,
Escape from New York.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, Escape from
New York,
L.A.
and Escape from New York.
You've
from
seen
LA.
those movies.
Potentially.
His name is Snake Plissken.
PLI.
Isaac Hayes is in the first one. He's A number one.
A number one. Okay, so Joe, what'd you guys do? Because we left, Chris and Pat left a little early at Lottie's last week. Mm-hmm. How did you guys stay out?
been such
Did
good
you guys
boys
go?
lately.
Did you? It's killing me being a good person.
We didn't stay out much later. I think honestly, all we did was just go get food.
Nice.
That was the big
oh
difference.
yes, you guys want McDonald's?
You went to
they do
that French
McDonald's,
American bistro
Called
and
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Chris and I also
Yeah.
found a location on the north side too.
Is
Yeah.
there? Brian
It was
is-
garbage.
Brian is
No, it was
so
delicious
witty.
at the moment.
It was.
Oh, Brian's a sniper.
He's so witty. I read that in the morning. I was like, God, that's good. You know what's funny? So they're in the text chain that Pat's not on. They were doing like Pat kind of or nah.
They were doing T-shirt ideas.
Yeah, for Pat, but they were using Pat's name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I came in with like I was trying so hard, and I came in with the Pat on the back, and it got nothing. It was like crickets.
Yeah.
I was so
Peter ended
sad.
that conversation real quick.
Yes, I killed it. I
Peter's like,
legit
I'll be
killed it.
100% honest.
They set a sub chain up, but Peter's not on it.
Yeah.
We need some good ideas. We're gonna cut
Hold
up Peter
on.
on this side.
That just hit me right now. Read that, and I thought he was just giving him a compliment. Didn't even think it was a pat. Because those two were, they were truly, those were like,
Tremendous.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, we never got Max shirts. We should figure an occasion to get Max shirts on the future.
His 30th is coming up. He
There we
might
go.
be in
There we
town.
go. There we go. There
We
we
should see if
go.
he's going to be in town for a certain because his brother's having a kid and he's going to be here for a month.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
Is
throw
he
him a-
turning 30 this year? Mm-hmm. Okay.
so we should maybe see if we can maybe throw him a bash
It's
out
like,
here.
it's like in July, I believe, right? Because and the wedding was his birthday,
Yeah,
right?
it's July 31st or something.
Yeah, his birthday's close to mine.
Yeah. Okay, I got a couple. I've been really looking into a lot of topics for this week. Have a lot of fun things. One that's not so fun, but I actually really kind of have some thoughts on it. It's a big topic in the world. But the first one this is actually kind of interesting. This is like maybe 2 weeks old though. But a company in either it's New Zealand or Australia, they take like the genetic material from animals like cows, pigs, and they can make the meat from that. They can grow the meat in the lab.
Oh, I heard about this. I heard about, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let you see if maybe you've got what I was about to bring out.
Well, didn't they just ban it?
Oh no. They took meat from a mammoth, and they grew it into huge
A mammoth, like a woolly mammoth?
woolly mammoth.
The extinct animal?
Yeah, but there's a ton of like in the permafrost that are full
permafrost.
Permafrost, thanks, Chris. The full animals that like literally organs.
Yeah, just completely intact.
They're the last meal, and so they're using that extra DNA.
Freeze dried, basically.
Yes, they're using that DNA. They're bringing those back in Siberia, but so they took some of that DNA or the genetic bio, and they've created a woolly mammoth meatball.
So it's basically like Jurassic Park kind of, but for food.
Yes, but nobody will eat it.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it either.
Isn't this the whole entire argument with like GMOs, like genetically modified?
I don't know why.
That's
grow
the
that?
re- but
I don't
that's
know
the
why you'd
re-
want to eat it to begin with.
Well,
Like,
the reason is because they don't know. They're nervous because our body has not eaten something like that
yeah, why would you want to eat it?
in like thousands of years, and they're not sure how. Like, there's nothing. Like, what if it causes something, and you're just done?
Yeah, you don't eat it. It's pretty straightforward to me.
We have the cure for cancer. We don't even know it yet. Woolly mammoth cures
Yeah, it's
cancer.
eating
There you
mammoth.
go.
But that's why we've all not had the reason we now have cancer.
Because the woolly mammoths died.
yes,
Dinosaurs and woolly
we
mammoths
killed-
died. We were eating them before. Now we're dying. Damn it, here we go.
The
Before
best-
the woolly mammoth was gone,
In
there was no
2000
such
AD, when the
thing
dinosaurs
as
died and
cavities
Jesus was
or
born,
cancer.
You know? Jesus had to kill the dinosaurs.
The best are those commentators like, "Give me that meatball, I'll eat it. I ain't scared of meat." And people were like, "We ate them into extinction. You think that meatball's not going to be flame as all hell?" And I'm just
Yeah.
I'm like, some of these comments,
Get it?
legit.
People
Yeah.
are so weird.
Oh, right. Well, so this brings me into another comment.
God help us all.
Chris and me had this conversation. Chris and Tommy had this conversation, and this is something I wanted to bring on the podcast. And it's not It's not lighthearted. It's not usually where we go. But I honestly, I'm just interested in what you guys think about it.
Do it. Let's
Chris and Tommy have
Let's
this?
get.
Chris has Chris every once in a while has an opinion.
When did you? Is it Wednesday?
It was yesterday.
Oh, Tommy was working with you yesterday.
Yes,
Friday.
Okay.
So
Sure.
it was. So I don't know if you've seen, but Bud Light has a transgender. They're sponsoring their beer, or like they're working together with a transgender individual who's who's drinking their beer, and it's like marketing, yada yada yada.
Are they kind of like a spokesperson for it?
Kind of, right?
They,
Like
no,
an
they- no,
influencer.
it was,
that's
it was
like
an ad.
something
It was
like
an
that.
ad campaign.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like an,
so
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
So this
like they
would be
got the
like
person on a can.
This would be Jared for
No,
some
it's, no,
extra
it's
stuff
no,
like-
it's not. It's not on a
That's
can.
it.
It's
Is the Bud Light.
it's not on a can. It's just
Okay.
like, they gave the commercial like a custom can. That's not like an actual can.
Sorry,
that's out
okay.
there. It's an ad campain. Is all it was.
Okay, so but like Jared, that's a good way to put it. Kind of.
Maybe
They're
not with
gonna
Jared.
be
Maybe not with
marketing.
Jared. Let's not go Jared route, but
But everybody knows what that is before he became. Well, he was always a creep.
yeah.
But
let's not go with the Jared.
Well, I guess maybe given the context.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So, okay, so and if I don't know if you've seen this, but it got a lot of people up in arms.
Kid Rock was angry.
And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. So Kid Rock,
Travis Tritt angry.
yes, two guys. One guy will not. He's done. He doesn't want any more Bud Light. And then Kid Rock is blowing.
Should have
Budweiser's up
with
and-
AR-15s.
And immediately I go,
Who
why?
cares? Who gives a
Who
shit?
cares? Why is that
Here's
at
my-
all important to
here's-
you?
here's my thought
But
on
so
it.
hold on. Let me just go into this really quick before you jump in and give your opinion.
Oh, I have an
Hot
opinion on this
second.
one.
I get it. I get it. What I want to say is, I immediately went to who cares?
Now, hold on. Can
Yep.
I just ask you a couple questions? Because I have heard this, but I didn't really read into it. The trans person. That's do we know what that person's name is?
No
I
idea.
apologize. I don't.
Okay.
Maybe Danielle. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
And I don't have my phone. It's actually recording this.
Yeah,
Right now.
I seen a picture.
Maybe look it up real quick, Chris, if you don't mind.
Who knows?
I've seen a picture, but has it
Hey, Joe, not to be a pain in the butt.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
other than being trans, has this person done anything wrong?
No.
Like, they're not-
I
they're not a bad-
I wouldn't call trans being something wrong.
Yeah, I get.
No. I said other than being trans.
No, they don't like
Have
the
they-
two people that caused bike wreck. They don't
Oh,
like
I
it
guess
because
that's,
it's
I
trans.
guess how I
the person's-
yeah, that sounds bad.
Yeah, we get. Yeah.
The
I get
person,
why-
not good phrasing, Joe.
Sorry, because a lot of people just hate trans people because they're
That's
trans.
what the two people that Kid Rock's backlash is because of that. Yes.
It's strictly because of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So here. So
The
okay. So wait.
person's-
Hold on. Okay.
The person's name is Dylan Mulvaney.
Okay. So and no. So I immediately went to. Who cares? I honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me why anybody would give like a second thought to this. But so then I was like, well, listen, I think we're a little insulated in our group because we're just like, we just don't care. Like, I don't think a lot of those things affect us at all. If it's not harming anybody, we don't care as a group. Like, and everybody in our group is kind of very similar.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, why don't I go look? Why are people getting so up in arms with this? Give me a reason. Let me see. So I went and I went and read the comments on like Yahoo, and then I was just like, and then I went to like Owen Candace on this, and their thing is, they feel like the trans movement is being shoved in their face at all, all around in their face at all times. It's always people are trying to pump this. And then I was like, okay, okay, so is that kind of annoying to some people? Like,
Let me
maybe,
ask-
but so and then I was like, well, thinking, so Bud Light's got to take a little, because they got to understand that this is going to have some backlash. So they're doing this for a purpose too. So Bud Light is doing this, and they're also causing a little bit of like the controversy. And just really quickly, my last thought was, and then I would love to get your guys' opinions, is where it came down for me is like, I kind of almost see this like the gay movement. Like for a long time, people didn't like, you could be gay at your house, keep it in the behind the closed doors. We don't care. And it wasn't until like people pushed it, and there's always going to be flack, that it became normal. And I think that's kind of where Bud Light's kind of coming in, is like, we got to understand, like, we can't be, pushing people aside. I get it that you might not like to see it, but unfortunately, until it's normal, this is kind of what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And it's going to cause these controversies, and people are just going to get up in arms, and I think most people are just get, like us, we're just going to be like, whatever, it is what it is. But it was a real, like, for me to be like, because everybody's so upset about it, and I'm like, how can you get this? Like, there's so many problems. Like what Chris said, was there's so many problems in the world. We got a mayor that got elected that all he campaigned on was raising taxes. We've got such crime throughout the United States, and this is where people wanted to, this is the biggest uproar, was somebody sponsoring Bud Light. It kills me. But Pat, I know you had really wanted to talk about it.
So first question: has anybody, in any context, has anybody seen any of the ads in public anywhere?
No.
Not at all.
Okay, so that's point number one. Is like it's not really in your face. I would say is that to say it's in your face. You're going actively to look for it is the first part.
But I would also say we're not people that.
That's
I mean,
the other thing.
But I'm saying it's not like a national thing that you're seeing on TV like 15 times a day watching the NBA game.
Well, I don't know.
Or watching have you seen it on any TV? Any ads,
I don't
anything?
watch cable TV.
Anything like I haven't seen
I
it
assume that's
anywhere.
where it's going to pop up.
I do. I'm going to give Pat on this one. I do agree. I have not seen, and I don't watch a lot. You're right.
To say it's pushed in your face, I think is a drastic.
But I don't think it's not that commercial.
I just don't think it's only the commercial.
No,
that
I'm
they
saying
do.
the ad campaign in general. I'm saying to say it's pushed in your face. It's not like you bought a.
No. I'm saying they're not saying that commercial, but they're saying the trans movement.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
the other thing was the bathroom thing, and I don't give the bathroom thing at all legitimacy at all. I don't even talk about that. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I think people should be allowed to be who they are.
Yeah,
and I think that this person is what I don't know this person at all.
Yep.
I've not, but like, if does it nothing like that kind of like it's like music. If you don't like it, then don't watch it and move on with your life. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like
To blow up.
Here's another question:
Light.
like, does that make me? Does one way to like? If I see this ad, do I want to drink more Bud Light or less Bud Light? No. Do I see Kid Rock getting angry? Do I want to drink more Bud Light or less Bud Light? Like, no, it doesn't. It has no effect on my like anything to me.
I just want to cancel Kid Rock.
It's just let's cancel Kid Rock. Like, we can cancel Kid Rock. Like, I don't care. Like, why do I care what these celebrities' opinions are? Like, I don't care what your opinion is. Like, you're just some guy that had like a couple songs that people like. Like, who gives a shit what these people think either?
Yeah, but I think a little bit more of the point.
But I think it's wrong to. It's definitely wrong to like single out a person because Bud Light is pushing is trying to expand their base probably a little bit. Yeah. I'm not sure it's going to make any effect in the sales of Bud Light one way or the other. Anywhere. Like, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a marketing guy. I don't know what they're. I'm sure they did a shit ton of research before they did this campaign.
Oh, absolutely.
You just don't. They don't wake up on a Monday and be like, let's just run this ad. And see what happens, right?
But Theo Von had a pretty good. He's like. He's like, you're right. Exactly what your point was there, Pat. I think was Theo Von's point was like, yeah, they had to have done some research to say, okay, this is a market that we can get into.
Yeah.
And if you're a Bud Light drinker, I don't know that this is going to stop you from drinking
If
Bud Light.
If it was Coors Light, would I be offended and not drink Coors Light? Like, no,
Hell
absolutely
no.
not. Absolutely. It's nothing.
Here's the real thing. Is there a question? Is there, and this is might be, is there, I don't think there's really much anything. Like, unless like Coors Light was going to come out to say that it has like a 10 times more.
If you're like, I love
rate.
Hitler or something.
Yeah, we're done.
I just don't think there's that. Like, I don't care I don't know anybody who markets.
Like,
Coors Light.
I don't care about like. I mean, people should be who they're allowed to be, who you want to be, and they should not be persecuted for being what they are. Like, I mean, it doesn't offend me. Like it's not. I just you're living your life. I judge you on if you're a good person or not a good person to me, and I don't care what you look like or what what your beliefs are. Like, I have people that I know that I don't agree with anything they say in politics or things like that, but I still get along with them really well because they're good people in general.
And so this is what I also think this leads to is we're
it's just close. It's people are so close-minded. They're like they're stuck in their little But that's
bubbles. But then so I get a little nervous with our group because we're very common sense, down the middle, kind of thinking, and I get a little nervous that because we're just not seeing any sides, and that I think we need to like. That's why I went and looked it out, and I wanted to see why these people are angry. Like, is there something I'm missing? The other thing is like Max made a joke about Trump and getting indicted, and when he said that, it's like to me, it's like, do people really care about this? And if they do, why?
Yeah, people care. Like people don't want him to be able to run for election. So yeah, they care about that a lot.
People care about Trump getting arrested or not?
Yeah, no, they care about it a lot.
Like
Indicted.
getting indicted.
Yeah,
like,
because
I didn't get that.
Because they don't want him to be able to run again. And I'm sure if he gets like found guilty, he cannot. He's not going to. He can't run again.
Yeah, I mean,
which is what they're really trying to avoid is him running again.
This is a historical moment. This has never happened.
But I get that. Like, if we look in I get what you're saying. You're right.
And more of these are to come because this is just on one thing, and they're investigating him.
The problem is it's the one thing, and it's the Stormy Daniels payment, and there's two things you can say to it. It's one, it's he did something illegal, like in the law, it's illegal. Mm-hmm. The other thing, it's like even Stormy Daniels said like he shouldn't go to jail for this. Like you're gonna pay some fines, but I think
they want him to be guilty or something is what it is.
Well, and yes, but is there any fear to? The courts are going to be like, this is not strong enough, and then he skates, and now you've increased his kind of his allure.
I don't know.
That's my only.
It's
But
possible.
also,
It's
Probably.
But I think people are going tired to his message to a degree too. Like I mean like, he's not as influential as he was 4 years ago. I mean people have kind of realized that he's a little bit, he's a big talker.
I guess again maybe it's just I was not. But when I heard like people were getting like up in arms, I'm like, I mean he is. I think there were a lot of these things that. I think the first thing is if they shouldn't have waited. I guess I get that they had to wait till his presidency was over, but like for how long they waited, like for them to come back and be like, yeah, hey, the payments to Stormy Daniels
I'm guessing like
over 10 years ago,
I'm guessing COVID
or
had some
like
of that too, probably
6 years ago, like that's why maybe more people are upset. But I'm just saying, in my general vicinity, I didn't realize that was a big deal. And then I saw like the protesting on both sides. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
would you guys ever go to any type of protest like this?
No.
Like,
Probably not.
I remember going when
I'm a working human being. I don't have this like free time to be like up in arms and then following around everything. Like there's like you said, there's real problems that are closer to deal with than that kind of crap.
You were gonna say that, Joe?
I was just gonna say, I remember at DePaul, you'd always see stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like downtown, just marches all the time, and you're like, "What's this one for?"
Remember the water torture stuff?
Yeah,
The waterboarding?
Lord.
Oh, those are not good.
yeah.
There was one. I used to work because they would come off like the trains where I worked down, and every few weeks would be something. I'm like, who gets these memos? Like, where are these things
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from?
My big. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say, I mean, it's necessary in its function. You need people to make a noise, but like for something with Trump and stuff, I mean, that's just people getting angry on both sides, and
I mean, he's just a controversial figure that draws that kind of stuff out in people. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
That's true. I don't know. I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm like, oh, he got indicted on 31 things. I didn't realize it was a bigger deal. I get that.
I mean, he's a person that's actually running for president. That's now under indictment. I mean, that's very unprecedented, right?
yeah.
I mean, but it's
Like actively
Trump,
under.
isn't Trump bent in? I mean, he's gonna get like tax fraud at some point. Like we all know, like
There's something.
there's got to be something.
This is just the start of him.
Yes.
He's gonna get something caught.
and end up in bankruptcy, and he'll still run. Him and DeSantis. I think Trump's got. You know what? I watched.
You been hearing about DeSantis and some of the crazy stuff that dude's doing over there?
Dude, John Oliver did a thing on him. And
I haven't
he's not a good guy.
But I have not seen it, but he got.
Oliver's very slanted too. Like you got to. I mean, he's a
He-
super slanted guy.
I
I
haven't.
have not
Very fair.
seen the.
They're very fair.
I have not seen that.
I'm not
either.
saying he's not a piece of shit.
Go
I'm just
ahead,
saying
Chris.
like Santos.
But he went on. He went on. What is it? Late night with Seth Meyers, and they talked to him about. They asked him, and he called like before he runs like a story, he calls like these people and representatives, and like the one thing he talked about was like some girl or something. Like he would take girls out and like they would have to say something or whatnot, and like he would call and ask like, "Is this true?" before he would run it. And like they wouldn't, like they never took his call or anything, so he just kind of ran with it.
Oh yes, the one thing that he did say was that he would say, what was it? He would go on dates
Yes.
and he would say a word, and
He would say the word, yeah.
He knew the word was wrong. The way he was saying it, and if a lady corrected him, like it was like, oh, it was that Thai food. It was like, I want the Thai food, and the lady would be like, oh no, hey, it's Thai food. Like he would that, and he's every first date was Thai food, and he would say Thai food or something weird, and she'd be like, hey, no, it's Thai, just it's Thai food. He would not go on a second date with her because he never wanted a lady who would correct him.
Yeah, so John Oliver's team called and like tried to confirm with his reps if that was actually the case, and they never like.
I mean, there are a lot of guys that are weird piece of shit things they do. Like, let's be honest.
I was just talking about his political stuff with like Disney going on.
Yeah, I mean,
How have you been hearing about that?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
And
this
Disney tried to one up them, and I think they did.
They did definitely.
let's
no,
put
no.
it this way: if you're more conservative, then you probably like the guy, and if you're not, you're not gonna like the guy that much.
He's talking about putting together a civilian military.
What did he say about Florida? Or what did Disney World? How did Disney one up him?
Whoa, you go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So, the way Disney was functioning was almost like its own independent little nation.
Yeah,
in
I knew about
Florida.
that. Yeah.
And so DeSantis basically like put
gave-
a bunch of his dudes into the committee to like stop this from
broke their tax breaks and stuff up.
Yeah.
Yes.
But right before that, the committee, like the night before they were about to switch over to these new people, they put into motion this thing where they're like, this committee no longer has power to make these decisions, and now it's on this person to make these decisions as of 25 years past the date of the death of the current lineage of the king or something like that. So, like, as long as there's somebody, you know, Prince Harry, Prince William, like, alive, and then they have kids, those kids are alive, until all of that dies out,
which will never happen.
And then an additional like 20-something years, they will never have that power to do this. So DeSantis is investigating that.
Yeah, they're throwing it through like the
it's going through. Oh, great! We're tying up the court systems with more stupid stuff. Great.
It's like one of the few times this law has been used in the last 150 years in like contract writing. It's ridiculous.
Some
that
lawyer
they found and pulled. This
some lawyer got
out
paid
of
a
their
shit ton
ass.
of money to find that.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
And now he's talking about creating a civilian army independent of the government that serves him, which sounds a lot
Wait,
like
what?
the Gestapo.
Yeah.
If you know your history, it started the exact same way. It's an incredibly crazy idea. This dude is nuts.
So we got the
He is
Republicans
out there.
putting out Trump and this guy are the two top guys, huh?
Yeah, but then, and you got Joe Biden, who
And we're getting our boy JB Pritzker probably.
Yeah,
he run-
hopefully
is he running-
somebody's got to run again. Somebody has to take Joe. Joe Biden. McCarthy is trying to work with him on budgets and stuff, and like the debt ceiling, and they can't. He can't get a hold of Biden.
Biden don't pick up cell phone.
Biden's in.
Hey, it's Arts and
Arts
Crafts time. I'm a
yeah.
little busy, all right?
Oh man,
Insane, absolutely insane.
Biden smash.
I think.
Oh, that's just Joe Biden.
You know there's an age minimum to be president? There should be an age maximum. To be,
And all
Yes.
politics.
all
politics.
levels.
Like you should be
Yes.
somewhere between the ages of like 36 for president, and then like let's go like 65. And you're
Let's go like 62. You know,
Dude,
you're done.
100%. That lady,
Absolutely.
the lady in California who legitimately has dementia was still in Congress.
What about like Orrin Hatch, who was like 98 when he died?
The other guy's like 82. What's the guy from Kentucky? McConnell. He's like 80 something.
And then Pelosi.
Yeah, and then the guy in New York is also like in his mid 70s. Like all these people are old as hell.
They don't know
Bernie
any-
Sanders is like 83.
They were talking to the there was an investigation on TikTok, and they're like, would TikTok access the Wi-Fi in my house?
Yes.
That's one of the questions that they're digging into, and he's like, yes, because that's the internet.
If you put it on the line, what does that
yeah,
mean?
it's exactly
is.
one of those moments. It's like these people are so stupid and daft that they are making laws and rules on things that they don't comprehend.
There's literally a question like the Vince Vaughn in the internship. It's like we got to talk about this on the line thing, guys. We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
We got to clarify this
We
out.
gotta get this on the line.
And we get AI that is scaring almost all the highest scientists out there, is scaring the crap out of them. And most of the Senate and Congress have no idea what's going on.
Dude, we have a lady that's 89 years, almost 90 years old. It's in June of this year, she'll be 90.
Who's that?
Insane.
June, Dianne Feinstein.
That's it. She's the one, and she's got dementia.
And then they have another person,
90.
Chuck-
She has dementia.
Chuck Graisley is 89.
Who is voting for this lady? That's the people. Those people should be kicked out of this country.
The guy from Iowa, the Republican from Iowa, is also 89 years old.
Nice.
Oh my!
We made this a really political
I mean-
high. But here's the other thing. Last thing.
No, these people need to be out.
They
Yes.
do. This
No,
is
no.
unreal.
You know what
There's
kills me
return
too?
limits and age limits.
Yes, on everything.
We had a mayoral race in Chicago, and most people in America are making fun of us.
It
for,
made like national news. this race.
because they're making fun of Chicago for picking a progressive mayor that did nothing for us, supposedly did nothing for us, to another progressive mayor. And they're like, you had an opportunity to, but who knows? Paul Dallas, nobody knows what's going to happen.
I told you
But-
Dallas never wins an election. I told that like
You
years.
did. You called that.
But here's the messed up part. 500,000 people voted. Less than 500,000.
No, it was more than that, wasn't it?
No, it was two.
I thought the voter time was higher.
No, it was two.
No.
It was two. It was like 280.
There's like
so
one.
maybe
There's
600,000.
like 1. I thought it was the 1.7 register. That was more than that, wasn't it?
No,
No, I don't think
It was like 280 to 270.
When me and Peter were looking at it on their way, like
Yeah,
at night,
it's pathetic. It's pathetic, really.
When this guy gives a city tax or raises your taxes and you want a wine, it's on you if you did not vote. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to
I
whine
don't care
all
who
the
you
way
vote
to the
for.
bank.
Get out there and vote. How
That's wild.
we have 2 million people in this city. 600,000 voted
And you can vote. You can vote early. You can vote by the mail.
by mail. How easy? How much easier could it
They
have been?
literally send the ballot to your house. What do I do? I send the ballot to your
That's
house.
what
Sign
Sarah
it,
did.
send it back in.
Yeah, Sarah did, and I was like, "Oh, I'm doing that one." Then.
My ballot never made it.
Way to go, Chris.
It's killing me. So I'm again Chicago and Illinois are laughing stocks.
That's
I'm trying-
unreal. I didn't realize that few people voted.
But honestly, that's not
the
just
population-
that's not just a Chicago thing though.
the
Like,
voting population. That's true. The voting population, or sorry, is
Calm down,
Chicago.
Pat. Jesus.
Those weren't cheap, buddy.
sorry, buddy.
$2 million or $2 million.
This whole
I think it's like
People?
1.7. I think is the eligible people voting. Yeah.
Wow.
So you may be 18 years old. So you know there's a bunch of kids and stuff.
I guess, but I
People
thought
also
that-
people aren't registered to live here necessarily.
I guess, yeah.
You could have moved from other cities and you haven't registered yet, stuff like that. There's
Wow,
there's
that's
people like that.
because I thought the population of Chicago, or like the
The metropolitan area is 10 million, but don't forget Chicago City is like 3.
I have a question.
The city population is like 3.
Hit me, Chris.
Okay, so say you're we're all from Chicago.
Yep.
Now, if you're like, say, like in like 5 years, you decide, I'm not really feeling Chicago anymore. I want to move somewhere. Are you going to keep your license here and have an absentee vote so that you can screw with the people and vote for some mayor that they shouldn't get?
No, because you want to vote. Because
I want to vote where I live. Yeah.
These are the most
Fair enough.
important
That's
votes. These are people are
Local elections are some of the most important elections to vote
I
in.
just feel like that there's somebody in like Boston right now who got an absentee ballot and voted for Brad Johnson, knowing like, I'm never gonna be there.
I mean, if you think about you're in Chicago, your aldermanic and your mayors are there's more. You can see more direct correlation of what they vote on to your life than you do the national politics.
yeah,
A lot of
100%.
stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of things. So you should be active and you
'Cause nothing gets
should
done
be
in
aware.
Congress.
You should be aware of what's going on there. Whatever side you fall on, you need to be aware of what's
well,
going
if
on.
I move away, I'm gonna keep it here and I'm gonna write you in, Pat. Don't worry.
Thanks, Chris.
I got it, baby. I'm going. Me and Gardner are going at it next
All
time.
right, Pat. I think you said you had a couple things that you could get Joe mad about.
Not mad. I said I had a couple quick hitters.
A couple.
Well, we can do a transition.
points.
So here's one good one. Is like so. Do you guys recall the song? "Every Breath You Take" by the Police, right? It's a very popular song.
Every
And-
tip.
Oh, I heard.
Yeah,
about-
it's a
I
very
just heard about
creepy.
this.
It's a very creepy song.
Yes, it's a creepy song. But in the late '90s, P Diddy made a.
P. Daddy.
That's his next name.
That's what Pat calls himself in the morning.
That's right.
He was talking about getting energy in the morning.
P Dad is here.
Got
P
this,
Daddy's in the
P.
house,
Daddy,
baby.
yeah.
So P Diddy he sampled Sting's song for the song
I
he did
did
for
see
No
this,
Appreciate
Matt,
It.
yeah.
And so like it came to light this week that like someone interviewed Sting and he's like, is it true that you get paid $2,000 a day since that song came out because he didn't license your song? And Sting, matter of fact, in the interview's like, yep, and it's moved on. Like no explanation, no nothing. And then P Diddy put a tweet out. Actually, it's 5. So if you do the math on that song came out like 97. He gets $5,000 a day. Sting has made roughly $45 million plus on that royalty alone.
Damn.
Forget about all the songs he's actually done on his own, all the touring. Just on that song alone, getting sampled, he has made $45 million in the last 20 something years.
Wow.
That's some great passive income right there.
That's a turnkey
on, but
operation
that-
right there if I've ever seen one.
That like, just take a step back though.
Yeah, just
how much
think
money
about
do you
that.
think Sting and P Diddy
Sting
are
has-
still making, not doing any?
Fun fact: Sting made $280 million last year. Because he had a Vegas residency, he's still touring, and his royalties from the Police and all the other music he's made.
Oh, I knew
that.
And the P Diddy royalty.
And that boy got some money.
I can't think about that. What if he made that? That's 3. All he has to do is make that 4 years in a row, and that's $1 billion.
Hey, remember Daniel Tosh? He calculated out how many days a year he has to work to be happy.
Yeah.
Evidently, Sting has too.
And it's not that many.
Not that many.
Not that many.
I'm doing it for fun, guys.
God, that is
this
so
what you call
interesting,
OT
Pat.
for me right here, guys.
Wait, okay, but can we go to Joe's point? How much? Because if he's paying $5,000 a day, P Diddy's got to be making insane money.
Yeah,
on that
well,
video.
That's the royalty in the song. So whatever the song's played, or
So
royalties are like
P
fine.
Diddy has Ciroc, right? The vodka.
He's got tons of stuff, man.
I mean, he's got his own clothing
he
lines.
hasn't done a song in
But
probably 20 years.
He's a
Oh,
mogul.
yeah,
He's
'cause he's a mogul.
But
He's making a crap ton of money
He owns
everywhere else.
record labels though and
Yeah.
stuff. Like he's got tons of money.
That's
I feel like he's lazy. Should get a couple songs out there.
But isn't that crazy? Like how much?
Let
like,
him know, Peter.
$5,000. Can you imagine just waking up? Sting's like $5,000.
Hey, you billionaire.
Sting's like, you want to go dinner
do
on me?
something with your life.
He's like, you want dinner on me? Why? P Diddy paid me $5,000 today. It's on me, guys. It's on me.
God, that's insane.
That is pretty nuts.
It's crazy, right? It's
That is
insane.
so insane.
Second one. Did you guys happen to catch that the WWE is now merged with the UFC?
Yeah, Joe, you should have stayed in, Joe.
Maybe.
No, the stock
Buyout's not that great.
Yeah, the stock dip.
Oh, it's
They're
not
being
it?
sued. They're being sued for the investigation of how much they sold it for.
I actually, I got out at a very good time because it was like right as that.
You're welcome.
Vince McMahon
Right, yeah,
had
just started coming back.
And Vince McMahon is back in control, baby.
like,
He's back.
shot up, and then there's this whole talk about being bought out.
With his weird porno stash.
I missed the high of
Oh,
the
that's
Sultans.
yeah, that's
With his dyed hair,
Can we talk about that?
plastic surgery face, and
I will put
little,
that
little
picture.
handle, little porn mustache.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did not put the picture in of Patrick last week because I didn't want to get him in trouble. But we will put the Vince McMahon picture.
Yeah,
Right
he
here.
looks creepy.
Because
I have
good
not
Lord,
seen
does
this.
that man look
Yeah,
creepy.
Google it, Joe. Do yourself a favor and Google it. He looks
not a
He
good
creepy.
looks like a 70s porn star.
Just Google Vince
But he
McMahon
also looks
WrestleMania.
amazing for how old
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, that's what happens when you have
surgery
billions of
and
dollars,
plastic
boy.
surgery and hair dye does it for you, man.
Can I?
It looks so
I
natural.
start
No
typing in
one can tell. With just for men.
Vince McMahon, and it just top search
Immediately.
immediately. Vince McMahon mustache.
Yep.
Whoa!
Yep. Not a good look.
Dude looks like a bad
You know who he
guy
looks
in
like,
a
Chris?
50s movie.
Yes. No, he looks like
This guy, he like
Rick Rude.
Oh, Rick Rude.
He looks just like fabulous Rick Rude.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a guy to be in the.
He looks like Vincent Price.
like the old timey westerns where it's like. Meh.
Yeah.
Do the math thing. You can do better than I can.
Disney used to play The Legend of Zorro, a black and white TV show, and he looks like that dude, like Commandant.
Yeah.
Whatever. who
My
just,
name is
like,
Santiago Montoya.
Don Quixote.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Exactly.
That is unreal.
But like the old version of him that's still looking for the guy that killed his dad.
You know what's crazy? That man's still slaying it. He's still doing work.
He's about to wreck the WWE again, right? Right, Pepsi? Pepsi says yes.
Bound to ruin it.
You know what's crazy? Do you think Vince or Dana White's ever going to take any comments from Vince?
No, they
No, they're
talked
separate
about
Oh,
it.
businesses.
they even
Yeah.
talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
talked-
he was the
No, basically it's like the Rob Emanuel's brother, and then it's the Dana White's over the one business, Vince is over the
No,
other business.
it's actually the one guy who owns like who owns.
yeah, Rob Emanuel's brother.
Yeah, and then it's Vince McMahon.
That's Ari, right?
Yeah.
Is it- yeah.
Yeah, and then it's literally Vince McMahon, and then Vince McMahon stays on the WWE side, but he is above Dana White.
Yeah,
in this
Dana White's not
organization.
going to take a single word.
But
from
no,
him.
they've already said that like Vince is not going to have any say or control over UFC because Dana White's not messing anything up.
No, there's no chance of that.
But I am interested to see some crossovers in between wrestling.
Brock Lesnar's coming back, baby. 45-year-old Brock Lesnar.
Ah, he's back.
But I just think you're just going to see a lot more UFC fighters move over to WWE.
Oh, absolutely. It's gonna be so much easier.
Twilight of their career, yeah, for sure, probably.
Yeah.
It'll be better than them.
There'll probably be
taking-
crossover. You'll probably see like promotional, cross promotional. I see a lot of cross promotional with like big events like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. You'll see like those advertised on there.
Talking
You'll see
about
this stuff.
WrestleMania last week. I didn't hear a thing about it, but I know people are nuts about wrestling again, like crazy about.
I'm not gonna lie. If it was in, if like when the Bears build their new stadium, if it was in Chicago, I'd go to it. Have fun. That'd be fun.
I'd
That
check it
would
out
be a
once,
cool
yeah.
thing to do, yeah.
But I can't.
I don't know.
We can't travel. We
It's
can't
so-
travel to it based on the time of it. We can't travel onto it. But if it was here, we could go see it.
It's
If you
Does
could get
it-
a cheap
does it ever
ticket
come
for it
here?
and just go, I mean, like I wouldn't do both. Like now it's
I
the
do one
2 day
of the
thing.
nights, yeah.
you
Yeah,
gotta
do
do. You
one.
gotta go medieval times on it. You just gotta go full like.
Yeah, you
Just
have a great
go into
time.
it.
Yeah,
Just-
Yeah, and just enjoy it,
live
have
it, just
fun,
wear
be
our
an idiot.
NWO shirts.
Oh, we'd be sexy ladies.
we'll make DLM. We'll make DLM NWO kind of shirts.
There you go. You know, what I was gonna say is to bring up like something like Pat's Pac-Man Jones. So Tom Segura back in the day. Did you say this? Back in the day had a joke about Pac-Man Jones, and it went that like one of my Tom. I'm not gonna say this at all as good as Tom Segura, but Tom Segura, and I actually didn't find that to be that funny of a joke, but Tom Segura is one of his best friends. Is from Cincinnati, and Cincinnati was in a playoff game, and they got beat because that happens. And so him and Tom Segura are in the kind of back, and Pac-Man Jones is coming back, and he's like, Pac-Man, come tie my ball. And Pac-Man, like, you could tell Pac-Man was pissed. Not a guy you want to. If you don't know who Pac-Man Jones is, Tom Segura.
Did you try to punch the guy with a helmet on once?
Yes,
Probably.
He goes to clubs and shots happen for some reason, and it's not one time; it's a couple times.
And these aren't liquor shots, by the way.
Yeah, and Pac-Man's bang bang. That's how Tom Segura put it. And so the end of the story comes like Pac-Man, like this guy just was delirious to how pissed Pac-Man Jones was. Like he's like, "Nah, man, fuck you." And the guy's like, "You're my dad's favorite player." He's like, well, tell that motherfucker thank you. And and so they asked Pac-Man Jones, like, "Hey, was this story true?" And he's like, "Nah." He's like, And he didn't actually. So he told him, no, I never said that to that guy. And then he's like, well, I did say that, but then I said, tell your dad I said thank you. And like, so it was kind of like a miscommunication. But so literally, Pac-Man Jones confirmed Tom Segura's story.
Was it like
Yeah.
it's like Rick James?
nice.
It's like the Rick James with Dave Chappelle, where he's like, "Nah, man, I never messed with Eddie Murphy's couch." Yeah, I remember that one time I fucked up Eddie Murphy's couch.
Yeah.
And like literally in back-to-back sentences.
Yeah.
What's his face? Pac-Man Jones is a former wrestler and tag team champion.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
fun fact.
You were gonna say,
Where?
Joe?
Wow.
And what faction?
The crappy one TNA or whatever the hell it was called back in the day.
Good to know.
I was just gonna say he goes, no, I didn't say that, and then says it, and he goes, I did say that, and then I said this other thing too.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're like, no, what you mean
Yeah.
you did
He's
say
like,
it
that
then.
joke's not true. Yeah, and then it's like, wait, no.
Nah, it's
that joke
true.
is true.
Immediately.
He's like, and then, but yeah, it was weird. What show was that on?
And then he said, but it might be possible if I didn't know who Tom Segura was at that time that I totally could have said that to just some random guy.
yeah,
He goes, so maybe.
But I
And
love,
it's like-
but I love Tom. But I love Tom.
you could tell that guy's taking a couple hits in football.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
against
completely
Pac-Man.
forgot about him.
Oh, he was. Do you remember the fight in the airport? That fight was ridiculous.
I remember. I mean, he was a wild guy.
He had a lot of
Yeah,
fights.
wild
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Good old Pac-Man.
Chris, where we at, buddy?
We are at just over 50 minutes. 50.
Ooh, very nice, very nice.
Any other zip stories?
Joe, how did you like John Wick? We didn't get your opinion on it.
Okay, I feel like I have a controversial.
Ooh.
I'm
It's
not
about to be
going
a
to
Pac-Man
deny
Jones incident.
it's a fantastic movie,
Okay, and you can stop there.
but
A little long.
But
there were moments in that movie that I was like, this is getting a bit cartoony. And then he fell out of a 3-story building onto a van, and then proceeded to fight up the longest stairs, and then proceeded to fall down.
I actually liked where he
the
got thrown
longest
back down. Was kind of funny.
It is funny.
I did make the comment to Chris. I don't know if you saw it, where like one guy, like John Wick, just got smashed by like 4 cars, and the one guy got hit by one, and he went down like a rock, and he was over. I'm like,
Yeah.
like come on, let's be honest here.
And I think back to the first movie. They're both, I mean, they really are. I loved watching that movie. But that bothered me, is like how cartoony it got.
it's getting.
I mean, you got to kind of suspend belief, like Pierce said. And
More
the other
and
thing is
more.
like the other thing is
More
like
and more.
he got shot like 7 times at the end of the third movie and fell off like a 40-foot hotel
Yeah.
and somehow survived.
He's good to go, baby.
no,
Yeah.
it's true. And then like every time he's trying to get out of anybody shooting him,
Yeah, he's just like
Because he had a bulletproof. He's got a bulletproof.
That's not that
Kevlar, baby.
bulletproof.
It's
Come on,
Kevlar.
baby.
It's totally legit. It's
Some-
Kevlar.
Hold on. Some guy actually, I think his name is oh man, I wish he's a YouTuber. You can just Google this.
And you got
He
Kevlar
bu-
his suit.
He built the suit. He built a suit just
and then
like
died
John
when he got
Wick's.
shot.
It dropped. He didn't put the suit on. But
Oh,
he,
yeah, you
they
don't
put
do
it on
that.
a dummy. It blocked multiple gunshots, like
Oh,
9
really? Wow.
millimeter, a PP.
How about the 40,000 that
PP
John
something.
Wick got shot with in that movie?
Well, again, got to disbelief. But
Well, he
it
did change
build
suits.
the
He
suit.
did change suits toward the end there.
Yeah.
Yep. And
And then he fought about
it
95,000
was
dudes.
incredible to see. He worked with like
Yes.
Kevlar companies and all of that.
I mean, I thought it was a fun movie. I thought it like I was with Grayson Peter last week. I thought it was a little long. It could have been. You could have cut down some of those fight scenes, and you could have made it a little more concise.
Yeah. Here's okay. Minus that gripe, I loved everything.
No, I enjoyed the
mean,
movie.
The action was
I enjoyed it.
incredible.
I
The
just-
story
I-
was
yeah.
incredible. I don't know if I'm a big fan of Donnie Yen being blind and then just being able to do all that.
I thought he was good though. I like that guy.
But that dude is a legend. I mean, they had legendary dudes in there.
Yeah.
The guy who was the big fat dude is
Yeah,
Scott,
who is that? I've heard a lot of
Scott-
things about him.
Scott Adkins. At one point, he was possibly in the running to be Batman because he's
Wait,
like,
oh,
big
wow.
fat guy. I'm sorry. Who?
yeah, the big
The guy
fat
that got shot in the
He
ass.
must have been a lot skinnier then, right?
the dude who fought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
he kind
he-
of sorry. He kind of looks like penguin, like a fatter penguin
Yeah.
to me. But yeah.
You know the guy that the concierge of the was it Japan?
Wait, is he really that fat then? Sorry.
No, he's not. He's
Oh.
in ridiculously awesome shape.
No.
And he's an incredible.
He was just in a
fighter.
fat
he's
suit or
been-
something.
Well, that would explain how he could do those moves then.
He's been like the bad guy and like big fight like things in so many movies. He's worked with everyone.
I saw the guy that was a concierge at the was it Japan or was that where it was?
It's like Hong Kong or
Hong Kong's
Japan,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know. It was
Oh yeah,
really-
in
He was in
Japan.
a Kia commercial I saw the other day.
a what?
Kia commercial.
Oh, nice. I still getting work. That's good to hear.
Yeah. I'm like, oh hey, no, like I was in John Wick 4.
If we had
Nice.
the sports music, I would have Chris.
Dun,
Joseph,
dun, dun, dun,
UFC 2 something or another.
287.
297 and a half.
No, 287. I think it is. Right, Chris?
287.
Yeah.
Who do you got, buddy? This is a big one. This is gonna define what's his face's career.
Israel Adesanya versus Alex something Brazil guy.
And if he does, I feel like if does not win this fight, he's going to be in the same spot as
He's gonna hope he's the same as Usman. He's gonna hope somebody else beats the guy so he can go beat that guy.
All right.
And then I think Jorge's done.
Yeah, I think he's done.
You do.
Jorge's going to come back and knock
Jorge
him out.
talked before this fight, Joe. I'm not going to sway your
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah, yeah.
but he talked about how he's like, well, this fight, if I lose, I'm gonna retire, and if I win, it's going to be a title run fight. When you start bringing the word retirement in, like you're done. You're just done.
That's what Joe. Yep, Joe says that a lot too. Yeah.
Like you start the word, the contemplation of it. Like you've kind of, like you have to. I think you have to have such an edge to get in there and do that. Like if you're not fully all in, 100% in, like. I think you're out. I think somewhere in the back of your brain you're out of that because it takes so much to take those hits and to scrap when you're down. Like I think if Burns pushes him at all in the first round, like he's gonna fold.
Give it to us, Joe.
I recently saw a clip of Chael Sonnen talking about fighting, and he's like, "Oh yeah, every fight I always thought I was gonna win except one guy, that was John Jones," and it was just like, wow, that's such an interesting perspective. Like. This is a fight where every other time in your career you go. I think like
I could
no.
win.
I mean, you got to think
I
that.
gotta
You got to think that going
and
into it,
the
right?
one time you're like, I am not. That's got to be a
Like
crazy
McGregor had to think going into fighting Khabib, like I'm gonna win this fight. Like, you have to think that, right? Like you
Okay,
can't-
Joe. So give me the lineup, baby.
All right, so we got Raul Rosas. Jr.
I'm going to take the whole left side of the fight card tonight.
versus
side.
Christian Rodriguez. This is in bantamweight.
Bantamweight.
Okay.
Did this the guy who didn't make weight, or did he make weight eventually? I know he didn't make it to the beginning. The one guy that didn't make weight there.
How do you have all this free time to watch the weigh-ins?
I didn't watch the Wednesday. I saw it on. I saw
Nah,
it on a clip.
BS.
It
doesn't look like it is, so it's okay. Keep going,
So he
Joe.
made
Keep
the
going,
weight.
Joe.
He didn't initially make weight. One of the guys didn't.
Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio.
I like that guy's name.
Ponzinibbio.
I like that name. Go with that guy.
Poinsettia.
Sorry. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez.
Rob
Okay.
Font. I know that guy. He's a Chicago guy, isn't he? I think we've seen him fight before.
His flag comes up as Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, he can't be from Puerto Rico, live in Chicago?
Take a backseat, Pat.
His team is the New England Cartel.
I heard Jorge Masvidal's from Ireland.
Yes. He's a big fan. Him and Connor are like this, man.
Jesus Christ.
He's got that quoting in proper 12.
I think that guy's from Chicago.
God,
We've seen Rob Font fight.
Pat, sit back, relax, and let Joe tell you about these fights.
Hey, yo, I saw this guy in Chicago once. I think he lives here.
I saw him the other night. He was walking down the aisle.
I've seen Red Hot Chili Peppers here 3 times. They have a
They
house
have to
somewhere.
live here somewhere.
They're not Southern
they have a house
California, no
somewhere
mas.
here. Yeah.
They're riding the waves in the Lake Michigan.
These are Midwest boys now.
Yeah.
It almost came out of my nose.
They wear socks in their junk now. They're more Midwestern.
That guy's never shirtless here.
He's like, it's winter, it's cold. I don't like it anymore.
All right, Joe, we got one. Do we get one fight out yet?
Oh
No.
my God, my eyes.
That was so good.
Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. This is the co-main event. And then we got Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya.
Is it Pereira? Or there's a lot of R's and I's there to be Pereira.
It's
I
Mike.
think
It's Mike Pereira's brother.
No, I honestly do think it's Alex Pereira.
Okay. I was just curious. I've always felt his name was something much more
All
complicated.
right, Joe, for main event.
I have Gilbert Burns and Israel.
Oh,
Are those your Josie Lock of the Century of the week?
Are we doing a parlay?
A little. Give me. Let's go a 3-fight parlay, Joe. Pick one of the other on our cards.
Give me the guy.
Take the font guy.
Yeah, give me the guy from
give me a
Chicago.
Chicago guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, Rob Font. There we go.
Rap on, baby. There we go.
Don't you disappoint me, Rob.
I'll get that tweet out once we end the podcast.
That's your Josie Lock of the Century of the
Of
week.
Pat, that was tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
Here are we guys.
You said it with such confidence.
S&P fact is, always confident, never accurate.
Never
we all know
accurate.
that.
Never accurate.
That was just proved immediately, by the way. Like, immediately. Chris, yeah, he's got a Puerto Rican flag next to him. Like,
Oh my God.
we got Humboldt Park. We got a big Puerto Rican population in the city here.
We do.
That is true.
I never proved that it's not actually
Could be if I got it, yeah.
No,
Definitely
it
could be.
happened.
No.
We all saw it.
Maybe he fought a guy
That's
from
wrong.
Chicago in Chicago once. Maybe that was what. I don't know. I'm getting confused here, probably. But it sounded good.
Joe,
That's man, Chicago. Live in Chicago.
really quick, we'll end this pretty quick. Did you see, wow, if I could speak. Have you watched any Joe Rogan like this week at all or recently?
I watched the Andrew Huberman one.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That's the most recent one that I watched, though.
He did one with David Cho. I highly
I saw the picture of it. Half his face is like orange.
It's weird. But
Nice.
Like a tribe that he went to visit.
you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to make himself like stand out in Austin and see if people would get upset. And because he wants to move to Austin, so he wanted to see if people could, because he's from LA, and he wants to see if they're gonna they would deal with him or not. And
So he just comes in with the most.
he came in,
extreme
yes,
thing ever.
and it was weird because like the face mask was like, or the red paint was like falling off his face.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was getting weird. But I thought it was a really interesting podcast, and I
haven't watched it. I don't know.
highly recommend, ladies and gentlemen.
I have one question about the Joe Rogan podcast. Is that guy that does the pygmy wells? Is he still alive? I know that he had some issues with
yeah. You know what?
no.
You know what's wrong? Or not what's wrong?
he got like malaria a bunch of times or something
Yes,
like.
But you know what
that.
happened? Because he's been sober and his sobriety lapsed for a bit, and he had to go back. And I think he's definitely still doing a lot of that. I haven't seen a lot of it, so I'm hoping everything's good. Because
Okay, I was just curious. Yeah, I remember him.
Buffalo
like,
Trace were doing a lot of things.
yeah, I
together,
heard
and
like
just
a lot of
haven't-
good things
yeah.
coming from him. So I haven't heard anything recently, so I was kind of curious.
And then the other one, Joe, did you watch the Two Bears One Cave where Bert talked about Andrew?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I thought that was really nice of Bert, but I feel like that was kind of like they wanted people to feel better or like to not to jump on Andrew. And I think that was I think it really was a bigger issue than most people thought.
I don't think Andrew Schultz is a funny guy, to be honest.
I think he's jumped the ship
That's
a little
Pat's
bit.
hot take of the night.
I've seen several clips of his stand-up. I did not impressed.
Again, I don't know anything between Tom and Bert and Andrew Schultz, but it felt like it was kind of like, hey, call off the dogs type of situation. Like Bert was cool with it.
Oh, was there a lot of hate going towards Andrew?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
They supposedly felt very bad about it, but I think a lot of people. There had to have been a lot of hate because they literally said, "Hey,
Well, you see the clip and it really messes Bert up, and you just feel really bad for that. Like you don't even have to know who this guy
I'm
is.
so glad we
Well, I
talked
think
about
Bert
that.
seems like a nice guy. That's why
He does. Yeah, he's just a.
He
fun,
seems like a legitimately
jolly
nice.
guy.
Like he seems very genuine when you see him, and like we've
And-
seen him a few times. Like he seems like a genuinely. He's grateful for where he's at. He's grateful
Yeah.
to his fans. Like he's
And
like a
he
genuinely
shut
nice
down
guy.
so it was
So
like
hard.
uncomfortable. You felt bad for
Yes,
him.
I turned the podcast off. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So, Chris, here's a crazy thing. He has a fear of balloons.
Wait, bird test?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wasn't he in an air balloon? Oh.
No balloon, like just regular balloons.
Like the rubber balloons with helium.
Do you guys have any?
Why?
And then it's an irrational fear.
It's and clowns. So like
Yeah.
it's stuff like that. Like you know how people are scared of spiders.
The
or
thing I think it
snakes
is for
or-
him is like that popping noise, like that it could just pop at any time. And it's something had to have happened to him as a child where the popping noise, something I don't know, but it's an irrational fear. And he asked Tom if he had any irrational fears, and Tom over time his claustrophobia like has become worse. I think that's kind of it for him, really. But he doesn't. I think he might have said something. I don't know. But I thought I wrote that down. I wanted to ask you guys: do you have any kind of irrational fears, like things that you're like, Jesus Christ, why am I scared of that?
I mean, obviously, I'm afraid of snakes. Terrified of them. Pat can attest to
I
that.
can attest to that one.
I'm also. I got like a little bit of the claustrophobia thing. I don't like being in like super tight spaces, like where I feel like I don't have room to move.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of reasonable. Some people, like as you get older, people don't like that as much.
I used to have like a real terrified thing of heights, but that's kind of gone away.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah.
I'm not a big heights guy. Yeah, I don't like certain things. Heights bother me quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, also I've done
like the last 2 steps on a ladder. That's a nay for Chris.
I mean, well, also the problem is I have to climb from my house short. I have to climb to the top of the ladder to I want to go anywhere anyways. So that's not the greatest thing anyways. But I'm like Katrina and I did in Wisconsin we did a zip line thing where you're walking across bridges that are 30 feet in the air. So I did that and I wasn't terrified. There's certain things that they do bother me a little bit. My palms get sweaty and I'll feel it with heights. Yeah.
How about you, Joe? You got any irrational fears?
I don't feel like I have any anymore, but I used to be terrified of taking the train and being underground. I used to be terrified of being in elevators.
Interesting.
Those would shut me down. I would be in a panic, but I've grown out of a lot of them. I can't think of any now. Any of the spiders don't bother me. Heights don't bother. I mean, I'm cautious, but I'm not it doesn't do that thing where my brain doesn't go, what if you slip? I don't have that fear. So I don't know. No, nothing that comes to mind.
For me, it's funny too, is if you guys had anything, Bert he's determined he's never going to do another podcast because he's scared that people are just going to do viral clips and bring balloons.
I know.
So he's really not going to do a lot of other podcasts.
That's another
I'm sure he'll do people he trusts, but not people that he doesn't trust.
Yeah.
He's going to go with Joe Rogan.
He's not going to do Logan Paul anymore, is what he said.
Yeah,
he's scared. Why wouldn't Logan Paul bring a clown or something?
And he's also the guy that went to that Asian forest of people
but I mean, he was looking for a viral clip.
Yeah.
For me, what's kind of makes me sad is the flying. More recently and I want to be a pilot. I'm setting myself up for a first flight. I'm going to go skydiving, but
I'll go with you.
For sure. But
count me out on that one.
Flying for me is at times, and it gets better at times. I just say whatever. But I used to love flying. I used to love that fly off. But you know what it is? It's just not having control.
Yeah, that's why most people I don't like flying for that reason too. You're not in control of anything. You're strapped in. You're kind of
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I have a better chance of getting killed driving a car than.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was, I will not. I refuse to fly in anything that's not a jetliner. I would not fly in little plane.
You're not gonna fly the single engine, baby.
I used to do that. You know what's funny though? I think it's just because it's the thing you don't fly a lot. Yeah. So when you don't fly a lot, but when I was auditing, we were doing puddle jumpers all the time.
Yeah. I think it's part of it's a heights thing, because you can I just would not. And there's no chance of getting one of those planes. It's not gonna happen.
Here's the other thing, though. Yeah. And this will be it, and we'll end on this. Is for me, it's also I see family members who are won't even give it a shot. And if I have a fear, I literally want to conquer that fear. So flying for me, I'll never let it not let me do anything. I'll go on there and I'll be a little uncomfortable, but as soon as you get in, it is what it is.
I mean, the jetliners I feel good about, but the small ones, I'm I'm good on those.
Yeah, there's no way. There's nothing there's nothing in this world I'm not going to do.
I'm not taking a jetliner in Malaysia or any of those countries.
That might be.
Yeah, you're right. Chris, I'll take it on that one. We can end on that one. That's common sense flying right there.
That's life lesson right there for all of you. And Pat Lynch, Rob Font, I saw you looking it up on your phone. Not from Chicago. He's from
not at all.
He's from Massachusetts, baby.
I'm so funny. I'm so Philly, baby.
Dun, 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 dun.
Fighting out of Massachusetts. I'm yep. I don't know where I got that one from. That's an S&P fact.